You have more than most people who have ever lived. You are also more dissatisfied than most people who have ever lived. These two facts are not a coincidence. And the ancient Arab masters identified exactly why and what to do about it.
There is an Arabic word that names the precise condition of the modern world and the precise cure for it. The word is Zuhd, pronounced Zuhd, and like sabr and wafa, the English translation, usually asceticism or renunciation, strips out almost everything that makes it useful. Zuhd is not poverty. It is not self-denial. It is not the rejection of good things. Al-Ghazali, who wrote about Zuhd more precisely than almost anyone before or since, defined it as follows. Zuhd is not that you own nothing. It is that nothing owns you. The person who has a magnificent house and loses nothing of their inner peace when they leave it practices Zuhd. The person who rents a single room and cannot stop thinking about whether they will one day have the magnificent house has not begun. This is the distinction the Sufi masters return to again and again. Not what you have, but what has you. And in the world we currently live in, a world specifically engineered to increase your wanting faster than any acquisition can satisfy it, Zuhd is not an ancient spiritual practice. It is a survival skill.
Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah, the 14th century Arab scholar who wrote one of the most systematic explorations of Zuhd, described the fundamental condition that Zuhd addresses as follows. The heart that is attached to worldly things is like a man trying to fill a vessel with a hole in the bottom. The more he pours in, the more he needs to pour. The vessel never fills. The man never rests. This is not a moral judgment. It is a psychological observation. And modern neuroscience, particularly research on hedonic adaptation, confirms it precisely. The brain has a baseline satisfaction level that returns after almost every acquisition, promotion, relationship change, or life improvement. We get the thing, we feel the pleasure, the baseline returns. We want the next thing. The Sufi masters diagnosed this condition 800 years before neuroscience named it, and they said the solution is not to get better things. The solution is to change your relationship with wanting itself. That is Zuhd. Because Zuhd is so frequently mistranslated, it is worth being precise about what the masters said it was not. Zuhd is not poverty. Ibrahim ibn Adham, one of the earliest Sufi masters and one of the most associated with Zuhd, was a prince before he chose simplicity. But he was not prescribing poverty for others. He was describing what he personally discovered, that the possessions he gave up gave him back something the possessions themselves had been consuming. Zuhd is not joylessness. Rumi, who embodied Zuhd in his own way, is the most joyful writer in the Arabic and Persian canon. The person who practices Zuhd is not gray and diminished. They are, by every account of the masters who knew them, more alive, because they are not spending their vitality on the management of things they are afraid to lose. Zuhd is not indifference to the world. The masters who practiced it most deeply were some of the most engaged people in their societies, teachers, healers, leaders. Zuhd freed their attention from the management of desire. That freed attention went into the world, not away from it. Al-Ghazali identified 3 levels of Zuhd that are worth understanding precisely. The first level, Zuhd from the forbidden. The person at this level has withdrawn their desire from things they know to be harmful. This is the minimum, the beginning. Most people who consider themselves disciplined are somewhere in this territory. The second level, Zuhd from the permissible excess. The person at this level has withdrawn not just from what is harmful, but from what is excessive. The things that are fine in themselves, but that accumulate past usefulness and begin consuming attention, time, and energy that could go elsewhere. This is where the practice becomes genuinely difficult, because the things at this level are not wrong. They are just more than necessary. And more than necessary is the hardest category of things to release. The third level, the one Al-Ghazali considered the summit, is Zuhd from everything except what draws you toward your deepest purpose. At this level, the person's desire has been refined to a single direction. They want what aligns with their highest intention. Everything else slides off them, not through discipline, but through genuine disinterest. This is the level the masters described as rida, contentment. Not resignation, not suppression. The state in which what you have and what you want have become approximately the same thing.
The masters were practical about this. Zuhd is not achieved by dramatic renunciation. It is built through daily examination. The first practice, before acquiring anything significant, a purchase, a commitment, a new goal, ask, am I reaching for this because it genuinely serves my life? Or am I reaching for it because it temporarily quiets a discomfort I have not yet examined? This is not meant to paralyze. Most things pass this examination easily. But some things, the ones you reach for most compulsively, most automatically, most defensively, do not. And those are the things worth sitting with. The second practice, periodically choose to go without something you normally have, and notice what that absence reveals. Not permanently, not as punishment, as information. What does the absence of the thing show you about your relationship with it? Is the discomfort proportionate? Or is it telling you that something has become a master?
You have more than most people who have ever lived, and the ancient Arab masters who lived in circumstances of genuine material limitation identified the precise reason that more does not resolve wanting. Not that you should have less, but that something in you has learned to want in a way that no amount of having can satisfy. Zuhd is not the answer to that. It is the practice of changing the question. From how do I get what I want to do I want what I actually want? The second question is the harder one. It is also the one that leads somewhere. Subscribe to Desert Mind. New Arab wisdom every week.